Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. Today, we have a ton of very interesting crypto news to cover. Let me give you guys the quick rundown. First of all, I want to talk about a very inspiring quote that I want you guys all to hear and really think about. Then we're going to move over into Charles Gasparino and everything he's been doing for crypto from a press perspective, which is very interesting, so stay tuned. 2 articles about Gary Gensler. From one perspective, he had a live stream. Second one is basically the crypto bounce in terms of price that had something to do with him. We'll talk about some of the crypto prices and everything that's going on right now in that regard. Biden sanctions, banks opposing crypto, 5 altcoins that are still doing good even though the market's crashed, and then Peter Schiff's very interesting opinion on the altcoins. All right. Guys, if you are enjoying these daily crypto videos, make sure you press that like button. Help the channel out tremendously. And I put all the timestamps down below because you guys said keep it up. And so I put extra time in, get those timestamps going. Make sure you press that like button. Nobody ever got rich by panic selling the bottom. This is a quote that many people need to hear because there's been, this GIF is very annoying. Let's go like this. Because there's been way too many people who just panicked and pressed the sell button. Let me tell you guys this right here. I've been expressing it, but mostly at the ends of my videos. If you want to make it big in stocks, crypto, whatever, any sort of investment, you'll never get rich by panic selling at the bottom. It just is almost literally impossible unless you are going short. Or I guess, no, not even then because it's the bottom. No, it's nearly impossible to get rich by selling the bottom. And from that perspective, guys, the only way is up. Let me tell you guys the story like this. If you're at the bottom, you have 2 choices, right? You buy in or you do nothing. I don't ever sell at the bottom because, again, then I'm really losing money and I'm getting no benefit for it whatsoever. If my money is, for example, down 50%, I'm not selling. I'm going to either go down with the ship that I believed in or I'll win big. And some people call this stupid, some people call it wishful thinking. I call it the reality of the crypto markets. It's, from some perspective, the duality, because nobody wants to lose money, everyone wants to gain it. And seeing your money go down obviously gets you into a more negative morale, kind of leaving you to want to sell to mitigate the loss. But guys, trust me when I say that any time that I ever thought about selling my crypto, I talked myself out of it. And I know if I look back now, anytime that I would have sold it, I would have had regrets, right? Unless I'm actively trading, but that's not what this story is about. This is for all you hodlers out there. It's not financial advice because obviously some cases it's better to sell, but I'm talking about 99% of the cases where it's just better to, for a mental game, to hold on to the entire thing, kind of forget about it. And that's again why you never use money that you aren't able to lose. I just personally never sell when we get to a dip. I only start buying more because I believed in the asset up front. What made me now stop believing? Is it some small news that came up? No, that wouldn't have done the trick. So yeah. All right, Charles has been going crazy over on Twitter, guys. This man is on a ram freaking page, all right, guys? And when I say that, I mean it. He's been going fully crazy over on Twitter with everything regarding the Ripple v SEC lawsuit, but also just on the part of crypto regulations, on the Senate, on the SEC in general, on everything, right? The China situation. And I really hadn't heard too much about Charles before, I guess a couple of days ago when the digital asset investor basically took him under his wing, kind of. But here, for example, this just got trending a little bit. Still waiting for the SEC to explain to me why past blockchains were not in violation of disclosure rules when they were using their crypto to finance the build-out. I get why these are not securities now, but why weren't they in violation then? The XRP community deserves an answer. And that's a really solid question, guys. I believe that the SEC has to answer, how do you come to these conclusions? And why, even though Ethereum had a ICO, was it not a security at the time? They keep saying, oh yeah, it might have, if we do not include the sale, then it's not in violation anymore. Okay, cool. Very cool. But what about back then? Why didn't you make a decision on it back then? Then if it was definitely a security, why did you sue EOS and Tezos and whatever, but you left Ethereum good, even though it was one of the biggest cryptos out there with huge amounts of money in there, which is very vague, right? So then we come up to the argument of, okay, but once it's decentralized, it doesn't matter as a global rule of thumb. No, it also don't work that way because XRP is decentralized. We all agree with that. Yet they still hunt them. So it's very, very difficult to see really what their strategy is, what their plan is, and what exactly is fact or what is, selectively used. I had one little small part about it here from Stefan, but I want to talk about that in a separate video. But to give you guys the small rundown, a digital asset investor was absolutely right when he said that the whole thing is an attempt to build a blockchain monopoly for Ethereum. Again, why? We'll talk about that in another video coming out a little bit later today. All right. So then, guys, Gary Gensler, he actually just had a live stream, which was, to me, pretty peculiar. It's very freaking interesting. However, I do not have the complete summary of the live stream just quite yet. All right, so we're going to have to wait to see either a couple of articles come out or for the full transcript, because otherwise we're going to have to wait a little bit. All right, the live stream already is just completely juicy, I guess. We're kind of done with that, but still, we'll talk about that a little bit later. I just wanted you guys, or quickly notify you guys, that it did happen and that it's out there. And then to talk about the Biden perspective from, let's see where it was now, here, from the article. Well, Bitcoin bounces to 43,000 ahead of fresh crypto comments from the SEC chair. It is basically said that people are selling in anticipation of Gary Gensler talking, or that people are buying or just basically trading in anticipation of Gary Gensler's speech, as we're getting closer and closer until the end of the month. And at the end of the month, the Senate is going to make some sort of, potentially like the House is going to make some sort of determination on whether crypto's definition of, I should say, whether the House's definition or the Senate's definition of a broker is basically going to be pulled through, which would be very negative for crypto. And since it's coming closer and closer, and Gary Gensler is the head of the SEC, who also oversees crypto as it currently stands, which still is kind of vague, people are more and more afraid of decisions in that regard, and so they might be selling partially due to that. And then again, the majority of the reason, or the biggest part of the reason, is of course the entire China situation, if you were to ask me. And if we're talking in terms of price, guys, I keep telling you, I think things right now are falling down, mostly because people start panicking on top of others. Then again, if I really look at the amount of panic in the space, it's been a lot less. Right now, Bitcoin had a double bottom here, as you can clearly see, at about 41.5 thousand or so. We're rebounding and coming back up. Still in our demand zone, actually, of Bitcoin. Wow, I'm messing up a couple of times with the words right now a little bit. Maybe I'm nervous. Now, Bitcoin has a double bottom right there, looking pretty damn juicy. XRP not looking that great. However, it's a daily perspective, and that's the problem here. People, if you look at an hourly perspective, things are looking quite good again, right? This little trend that we saw back then, broken, bada boom, bada bing. Doesn't look too happy. However, we can kind of start either making a new one, right, as an example, or we can kind of extend it from that point of forward. But most importantly, if you zoom out, though, once more, hourly looks good. Daily doesn't look too good, doesn't look too juicy. Weekly, then again, looks very, very freaking beautiful, as I've told you guys. We haven't broken below anything just quite yet. We hit below it, but we didn't close below it. And on the XRP daily front, if we actually look at it with Fibonacci extension levels, we're seeing that we're just bouncing basically from the 0.382 at about 85, 86 cents or so. And again, this Fibonacci has been in there for a little while. And you can see that the levels do represent, pretty much the future and the past here a little bit. You saw, if you actually check these numbers out for yourself, you saw that throughout the day here, we were actually bouncing in the middle. And even if you zoom in, actually, we can see it right now, that the price was kind of hovering between the 0.3 and the 0.5, the 0.382 and the 0.5 throughout the entire day. Now, in terms of stocks are recovering actually a little bit, but not too severely. And if you look at the 1 month here, the entire stock market did take quite a little bit of a plunge. So from that perspective, we can say that this was kind of an expected result. All right. Moving over into the next topic here. Biden sanctions crypto exchange over ransomware attacks. The long story short is there's an exchange which is called WSOTVIP, and they're basically alleged to have helped some sort of ransomware attackers get their money out. And so Biden is now coming in to kind of get some against him, but of course they have to prove everything and whatnot. So we'll see some more about that. But just know that the higher ups are working towards some sort of crypto thing. Then banks oppose the new Basel rules targeting crypto. So, we can actually not see the entire article. Oh, that is so sad. That is so sad. It's a premium article. Never mind, guys. We're not going to be able to cover this one. That is so... Oh, no. That's too bad. Well, Forum for lenders, including JP Morgan and Deutsche Bank, argue rules would push crypto trading into unregulated regulated corners of the financial system. The biggest US and European banks oppose strict new rules that would require them to set aside $1 in capital for every dollar of Bitcoin they own, a group of trade associations representing. The point was, at least that I wanted to make, that there's really strict rules that are potentially coming up here about crypto hodling, which just make it a lot safer from some perspective, because they basically allege that all the money you have in crypto can easily be lost, can easily be depleted, destroyed. So be prepared for that and show your preparedness by having some money on the side. But again, we can't cover the article, unfortunately. I'm accidentally stacking some of my timestamps on top of each other because I was trying to do it with no look, unfortunately. I hope it's still all good. No, it's definitely messed up a little bit. I butchered it a little bit. All right, I'm sorry. We'll figure it out a little bit later. Hopefully it's all good. All right, the crypto market is crashing, but these 5 altcoins are ready for a bullish breakout. Chainlink, Polkadot, Elrond Gold, Avalanche, and Mina. Last one, ignored because I don't like that one too much. I feel as if this is kind of a promotional post made for this last part. Kind of feels as if it's an ad, to be honest with you. So I'm not going to cover that one too much because I also don't really know it. It says here, this is a suggestion from Altcoin Daily, which once more, guys, I think is an advertisement. Then again, let me quickly tell you guys this. I personally have never mind. I'm going to talk more a little bit about that on Patreon. I wanted to say, look at the investment firms behind that, though. All right, that's all the hints I'm going to give to you as to why this might be a little bit more promising. Then again, I don't want to give it too much name because I don't know if it's an ad or not. I've never seen it in my life, and I've never seen somebody talk about it. That's why I'm saying be a little bit cautious. Might be an advertisement, might be a money grab. But in terms of what you're seeing right there, which I'll do an update on Patreon, okay. Now, the rest of these are actually platformers, except for the number one. All right, so Chainlink, very, very bullish on that, mostly on the basis that Chainlink 2.0 looks juicy. I've covered that a couple of times. Polkadot, Elrond, and Avalanche, or AVAX, all kind of are the same in which sense they are basically just reliving the DeFi experience that some of these other cryptos like ADA and Cardano have experienced over the last year. It's just a really good bet that if crypto goes on, that these coins would just really, really prosper. And since they are also some of the coins that have lacked the most over the last couple of days, they have the biggest recovery to make. Plus the fact that some, like for example, AVAX, have gained pretty nicely, but not as much as some of its competitors like Solana and Cardano. And so more gains to come. And that's the same thing that I'm thinking for potentially Elrond. A lot of people are really, really excited about Elrond. I see a lot of big YouTubers talk about it. Maybe that's also an anticipation thing that you should be thinking like, if they all start talking about it, maybe I should be prepared for some crazier things to come in the near future. As again, promotion sometimes does a really, really wonderful job. All right, then Peter Schiff. Prices of altcoins will implode overnight. According to the famous digital asset skeptic, the altcoin market might pop in one day. And all I have to say about that one is, yeah, wouldn't it be fun if he was right, huh? But these types of comments are very, very popular for people because they can always be right. They can never really be proven wrong. If crypto goes to $50 trillion, they still can always claim that it's a bubble and it will burst. And there's going to be always people who will admire by them. And even though we might be 30 years into the future, he might always keep shouting it's a bubble. There are now 12,000 crypto, 84 of which currently have market caps over $1 billion. There is nothing special about Bitcoin. Supply of altcoins will keep growing on till the crypto bubble pops. Supply will overwhelm demand and prices will implode almost overnight. It's a warning, all right. You do with it as you please. I think it's very peculiar. So I'm just going to let it stick and sit where it is in the garbage can and not going to do anything with that. But again, do with it as you please. I told you there will always be skeptics. But then again, in the end of the day, he might be right. Who knows, right? Who knows if all of a sudden there's going to be such a big crash for crypto that it can never recover. Do I think so? No. I personally believe in crypto all the way to the core. And as I said before, the majority of my money is in there and I'm going to stick with it till the bitter end. I would literally do almost anything else rather than sell all my crypto. It's just never going to happen. Then again, I'm never telling you guys that it's the best thing to investing. There always might be something better. There's always somebody better with more knowledge, with more money, with more blah, 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 blah. Do whatever you think is right. But I am sticking with my crypto. I'm buying more to the end of my days. And right now even, just buying more, buying more, buying more. My fingers are getting sore. Let's get it going. All right, let's get it going. Make sure you press that like button and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed them. And I'll see you guys again in another crypto video later today. Again, not financial advice, not legal advice. You guys know it.